Elf Village Battle 3. They aren't even, like, battling yet. Reincarnated people's residential area again. Ogiwara got impatient. Even though he should have mixed poison in the dish of the two former adventurers, they looked fine. He suppresses the impatience in the heart and sees off the two people with an innocent look. It's already hopeless for Ogiwara now that it became like this. Although the mission failed, the implication of the insurance is strong, and he have no choice but to entrust it to the people of the site. Fortunately, the two people who don't seem to notice that it was poison is probably who was resisted unconsciously because of the poison resistance was high. He thought so. So, Ogi, will you tell me your real intention that you try to serve poison to us before we leave? By Kunihiko's words, Ogiwara's color of blood draws right away. It was noticed. But what do you mean? He plays innocent. Don't play innocent. I already know that you're the one who did it. A firm intention that evasion was not allowed was felt. Ogiwara gave up in making an excuse quickly. He don't say stupid thing like, "Where's the evidence?" Because becoming innocent if there's no evidence only works in the constitutional state. Here is a different world, and there's neither the police nor the lawyer. Ogiwara was already guilty in Kunihiko, and a poor excuse was only worsened by the position oppositely. It would be good if you become impossible to move by the poison. The surroundings react to the words. Seeing the state, Kunihiko and Asuka are half convinced that this is the action that Ogiwara took alone. Although it's not certain yet, the reaction of the surroundings is seriously surprised, and the two people who pass through bloodshed as adventurers know the feelings and gesture of the people very clearly. And judging from the experience, they consider everyone to be innocent, excluding Ogiwara. That's too bad! Should I have you tell me the circumstances slowly after I hit you once? Well, wait, although it's certain that I served poison, this is something that I did thinking of you, you know? Kunihiko, who tries to step forward. Ogiwara restrains him with words. Ogiwara thinks desperately for reversal while not showing the feelings of impatience. What do you mean? It's simple. If you two go, you will die. Kunihiko moves one step closer. Ogiwara takes a step backward according to it. The eye passes by Kunihiko and is turned to the several elves who came to guide Kunihiko and Asuka. In addition, he searched for the presence of the elf who hides and watches this residential area. From here on, it's gambling. Natsumune acts recklessly and dispatched the army here. What Shun said is not wrong, but only half is correct. Natsume, right. Is that what I said earlier? Natsume's army is in disguise. The original purpose, the annihilation of the elves, starts. What? Surprised? I'm an infiltration member who leaks the information to the outside from the inside. In this strategy, most of the elves will be killed. Because it's planned that they won't interfere here, I recommend that you don't go to the battlefield. Kunihiko's movement stops. Casting a sideways glance at him, Asuka thinks whether Ogiwara's words are true or not. It's slow that Ogiwara was brought here among the reincarnated people. However, unlike Kunihiko and Asuka, who were brought just approximately 1 year ago, it said that Ogiwara was brought approximately 10 years ago. Although it's slow among the reincarnated people, it's not slow to the extent that it's unnatural. What did Ogiwara do during the short period before he was brought into the elf village? He is brought into the elf village and can contact the outside even though there's the barrier. Ogiwara confessed these questions easily. I'm affiliated with the church, and I received the training for information gathering when I was young. The unique skill that I have is infinite calling. There's a skill that can use telepathy without limitation. It can pass through the barrier, and it can be tapped can't be tapped unlike telepathy. I contact the outside all the time with this. Of course I conceal it with concealment. The elves probably think that the Taijutsu Genius Level 1 is my inborn skill. The elves' action on Ogiwara, who exposed it, was fast. They activate magic to restrict the body. It's the magic that wears the wand in the target's body and seals the motion. Ogiwara evaded it. Kunihiko and Asuka were active as adventurers, took in that the ability is on the level that can't be called as an amateur from the movement. But it's far from the first rank. But still, if it's assumed that he acquired this movement in several years before coming to the village, he's accumulated considerable training. It's already over for the elves. Would you like to die in vain for the elves or survive here? Which one will you choose? Reincarnated people are upset to the words. There are no good feelings for the elves. Having said that, it was hopeless, even if it was such a thing, it was said suddenly. Ogiwara thrown the words of the former adventurers Kunihiko and Asuka. He judged that there were prospects of victory if he can bring these two people into this side. But Ogiwara forgot it because of the impatience. That he has already done a hostile act called poisoning. Asuka holds down Ogiwara on the ground. Ogiwara didn't know what happened for an instant. Elves. This person's treatment will be decided by us. Interference is unnecessary, Asuka declares in a cold voice. The elves are overwhelmed by it. I will have you tell me the full story. Ogiwara is pulled by Asuka. Oh, right, that's a girl. Whoops. I'll have you tell me the full story. That's how girls talk. Ogiwara is pulled by Asuka and thrown into a nearby house. Although the elves try to follow her, Kunihiko blocks the path. You were too careless. Asuka, who applied soundproof, draws close to Ogiwara. Saying such a thing. If you oppose the elves here, what about the others who can't fight? Ogiwara can't answer Asuka's cross-examination. The mission ordered to Ogiwara is to make sure that the reincarnated people to be quiet, without choosing the means in that case. And the one that you come up with is poison? That's too poor. It can't be helped. I was not able to leak information carelessly because there were the eyes of the elves. Then isn't it fine if you use your boasted infinite calling? Asuka sighs to Ogiwara, who looks foolish like he noticed it. For the time being, I will torture you. What? And the eyes of the elves will turn away even a little. It's a pretense, right? It's unnatural if there's no wound, right? Ogiwara's scream echoes in the house where the soundproof was purposely cancelled. Of course, it reaches everyone's ears on the outside, and they become terrified. Ogiwara receives a really light torture and spits out everything to Asuka. With the information, Asuka and Kunihiko begin to move. Not to go to fight, but to survive. So they got a rat. Yeah, it was a rat the whole time, apparently. A mole, also what they call him. Sure.